Welcome to Common Unity. I'm Jason Fox.
And I'm Dr. Gabriel Lewis, and we are bringing the community together with a common unity. Yep.
No worries, too easy. Oh, well, you might as well get into it. So Gabriel's been searching through the internet and found someone who's probably an overnight success. But anyway, we'll get to that story and how we got to that. And we all know that an overnight success doesn't happen overnight. So we're looking forward to hearing the backstory of what led to this lady popping up in the spotlight. So Gabriel, who have you got here?
So we were just trialling whilst Mount Maunganui. I'm never actually on Mount Maunganui notice board actually, and I happened to stumble across your post that you did, and it was just all about your app, and I thought it was really clever, quite innovative, and I thought it was quite cool that you were doing something. So I was like, I wanted to get you on and have a chat and see who is the real Steph.
It's pretty crazy. I mean, as I have told you guys just now, I was building it for 6 years. And I went to launch it 3 weeks ago, like relatively soft launch, no PR or marketing. And I was like, my mentor told me to put it on the Tech New Zealand page, so I put it on the Tech New Zealand page, and honestly, that was it. It just went off. And I was thinking to myself, I've spent absolutely no money, and I've just put it on this Tech New Zealand page. And so I was like, well, I guess it's, the photo that I posted was quite like, people could see that it was a woman in tech, right? And then that everyone's got a car, so they all find it quite interesting. And so they downloaded it, and I just got a massive amount of comments. So I thought that I'd put it on like the Mount notice board and the Mile notice board community pages, and I was like, this is just crazy. And also the tech pages and the people that kind of like stay up to date with those pages, I feel like are business owners or, like the older generation, not older generation, but just like the more onto it generation. And it's just how it took off. Like that was simply it.
Yeah. Power in the people.
Yeah. And everyone, thank goodness that it worked for everyone that downloaded it. I think we had like nearly no crashes. We could see it on the analytics, which if anyone's built apps before, they know that that's not very easy to get. We've built it for 6 years, so that's kind of where we got to. But yeah, it was just...
Yeah, it worked seamless for me when I downloaded it. So do you want to say the app?
Oh, yes. It's called Bonnet. So it's an app that reminds you of when your WOF and your rego's due, as well as it tells you when your mileage, what your mileage is with the NZTA paid, and you just simply put in your number plate, and it just knows everything about your car. We're currently working on adding COF, which is heavy vehicles. Yep. So probably by Friday, I'm not sure when this is going to come out, we will be able to load trucks and camper vans and everyone that's pretty much got a car. So it's pretty crazy. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and the truck servicing and stuff like that will be super because they get serviced a lot more often.
Yeah, so the truck and heavy vehicle servicing is a bit different. It's like there's servicing based on the amount of kilometres and things like that.
Every 10,000 they do a grease, and then 20,000 they drop the oils and all that.
We can get into this later, but I could talk about that all day. Yeah. We've actually got this little port that we've made, which is it's a device that plugs into the UBD2 port of a car, which is like the computer underneath your steering wheel. And that's a whole sector that we can okay.
So I really want to know, how did you get into this tech side? Because it's not like your normal thing where you're like having a drink and I want to make an app. So it's you got to have a little bit of an avenue there. So
I guess I'll have to start from, when I was 15. So I left school at 15, as you said before. Yes. Not educated.
My favourite kind
of
person.
You didn't know that though. And my uncle actually worked, he had a company called Web Design, and he built websites for he was actually one of the first people in New Zealand to have a creative agency in 1991. And he went around and bought Audi.co.nz, BMW.co.nz, all these people's domain names before the internet was a big thing. And then he went back to them and was like, I'll build your website for free if in the future, if this takes off, you'll start paying me for your services. And so he ended up having quite a large company with a lot of car dealers and a lot of brands. And I was a little shit to my mum and got kicked out of home. So I had to live with him. And I was meant to go to school for one day, but I hated it. Went back and he's like, we'll just work for me then. Fine. And so I started data entry, and I left there as a senior designer. And then I got poached by Fiat Chrysler which is, well, it's now called a Tico, but they're the distribution for Fiat Chrysler, Dodge. And yeah, I did all of the campaigns and dealt with all the dealers, all their TVCs, radio ads, all of that stuff. And then started my own agency. And then I really wanted to get good at building apps, so I knew this would be a good idea. And at the minimum, I'd learn how to build an app, so I just did it.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
And 6 years later, and a child, I have launched it, and it's gone off.
Epic.
Yeah.
Epic.
Short story long. Long story short.
Yeah, long story short.
Really
okay,
compressed.
and then we're done. Okay.
But yeah, that's like I've grown up at 15 around automotive.
Okay.
So it's cool now because, I mean, it's 15 years later. Anyway, long time later. And I'm going around to these dealers. And I actually have known quite a lot of them for a long time.
Yeah, through the marketing.
So, so there's a guy, Paul from Wingers. It's like I actually took this idea to him like 5 years ago. And then he just gave me I hadn't talked to him for many years, and he gave me a call. He's like, hey, Steph, you need to come see me. I've seen your app. And then just went in there and he's like, yep.
Take it. Yeah,
And
it's so easy.
Yeah, and I was like, can I borrow a RAM for our ads? He's like, yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent. The amount of people that come with ideas but never action them would be quite a lot.
Yeah.
So it's obviously got something that you've...
It's one of those things that I just was... There was so many times where I hit a roadblock, like whether it was like, you know, getting the data or the development hit a roadblock or so many things. And I just was always just like... And it also was expensive to build, have a full development team like all the time on something. I just was always like, I'll just keep going and eventually it will be great.
Yeah. So, yeah.
And I always knew that it was going to be great, but I mean, it's...
You probably didn't realise just how hard it was going to be.
Yeah, in hindsight, it was
right?
like, I can't believe she was like so persistent. Like, but it's I never imagined this. Like, this is pretty cool.
Yeah. So out of 10, if 10's the level of difficulty, how difficult would you have stated making the app for the past 6 years?
Like, how hard was it?
Yeah.
It was financially quite hard. Like, it was quite expensive. It was quite expensive. We built it and then there was quite a lot of roadblocks. It was just, I obviously have like a full-time job. It was just, you know, the late nights. And then honestly, like getting pregnant was the one thing that accelerated me more than I could have imagined. Like, I couldn't go partying. So what was I going to do? I just stay at home and, you know, like
work on that.
And it was also like having a child made me just so much more dedicated to it. Yeah. And like my kind of like just my future looked different once I
had a child.
Had a child. And just from there it really like moved very fast.
So would you say it was a 5 or an 8
or
like
a 20?
10? A 20. Way
like
more difficult.
That's very difficult. Like
yeah.
I'm kind of like a bull in a china shop where, you know, I'll do things that are really hard at just not thinking about it, but I'll give it a go, like try it, and then I'll do it wrong like 10 times and then I'll get it right and then eventually it'll be worth it. But it's a lot because you've got to be the designer, the architect, manage development team, learn how to build an app, like, and then, you know, like... Also,
sounds easy, but it's not.
Yeah.
Like I know exactly how you feel because I'm currently in the same process with like 5 different businesses to my name, and I'm like, I'm the beginning of all these businesses. So I'm the marketing guy, I'm doing promotionals, podcasts, how do I promote it, who do I speak to, and heaps of stuff. You know, I said it earlier, like, focus, you know, follow one course until successful. Yeah. But I'm like following 5 courses, so it's really hard to just like dive into. Yeah. You know, today I'm going to work on this company. Today's each day is going to be a little bit different. I actually
listened to a podcast the other day about managing time because I was like, I'm so time poor and I've got so many things to do. I don't know what to do. And I had 3 lists, like of to-do lists, and this one podcast was just like combine your lists and like just whatever is most important, and that was really helpful for me.
Yeah. There's a book called Eat the Big Green Frog, and essentially it's every morning the hardest thing, the one thing that's going to give you anxiety and maybe take up headspace while you're trying to do little menial tasks, just do that straight away. Yeah, and the rest
delegate.
of your day, and just cruise. Yeah, do 1 or 2, 3 big things, and then go into your meetings and lunches and whatever else might need to be. But well, that's awesome. So you've obviously got a real passion for cars.
Yes.
Yeah. So always been a car girl yourself, or you kind of fell into the industry and you've enjoyed it?
My dad was a race car driver.
Okay.
He had a Trans Am.
Nice.
Which was pretty cool. One of those like really low, like, yeah.
Z28 or something?
I actually don't know.
Smoking in a Bandit?
But yeah, I've always really loved cars. I just think they're like very masculine. Like I quite like big masculine things.
Yeah. Men.
Yeah.
That's nice to hear. That's good.
Sounds like you're a fan of Andrew Tate.
But yeah, like
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. It's really, really awesome, eh?
Have you had a few cars of your own that you've been pretty proud of? As you can tell, we like cars.
I mean,
Just looking around the room.
yeah, I mean, well, I worked at Jeep, so I had quite a lot of Wranglers, which is pretty cool. Like the Wrangler is still my favourite car.
Yeah.
Just because it's just so like, I'm
Versatile.
not into Euros, but it's just got so much like personality with it, I feel.
Yeah, okay.
Love the Ram. I was at the time like part of the personnel that helped bring the Ram over when it was first here, and I did the ads, and yeah, it's just quite cool. And what the Americans do with the Ram ads, or like the Dodge Durango. I don't know if you've seen any of those ads, but they're really cool. But no, I just drive an Outlander 7-seater because I've got a kid.
Yeah.
But,
Super practical.
Yeah, I'm probably going to upgrade soon, so that's exciting.
Yeah, excellent. Yeah. So what made you think at the age of 15 that school wasn't for you?
Well, at the time I was working in retail, and I had to pay board, and yeah, I had to, I don't know, I kind of just like the idea of earning money, and I had to pay my board as well, and I just kind of stopped going. I don't know if I officially dropped out, but it wasn't really just doing
wasn't gelling for you.
Yeah.
That's
pretty much what happened with me.
Yeah.
I stopped going to school for like 2 months and then just went along one day and I was to go and see my mates, and they're like, oh, Jason, you're still here, are you?
Yeah, to be honest, like I've actually tried to think about it a lot. Like that period of like 6 months where I actually dropped out is very blurry. Like I can't really remember the thought process or like actually like leaving for the last time. Like it's all kind of strange. Like I don't really remember like a lot of that, but I do remember slowly not going and bunking and not telling my mum, and then eventually I was like, oh well, I actually got quite a bit of money now. I'm going to go flatting, and then my uncle was like, no, you should come live in Auckland. Like, don't go flatting at 15. And
excellent. It's good that you had that guidance at that time, because it's
I was very lucky that my uncle did that for me, because I don't know. I mean, I feel like I still would have been fine, because I feel like it would be all good, but I definitely wouldn't have had the teachings that I have had from Well, it falls back to you are who you surround yourself with, right? Like if you didn't maybe have him as a mentor at the time, then maybe you might have been I don't fully like if I've surrounded with myself not some ideal people in the past. I feel like you just got to be strong minded. I feel like you can definitely get learnings of people for sure.
Oh yeah, walks of life for sure.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
No, great. So, what would be some big lessons you would have learnt with your uncle at that time?
Just that reoccurring income, like monthly income, residual. Is it called residual?
Yeah.
Is the key to making a business profitable and not having to work as hard. That was the number one thing. And I don't know, he just made business look so easy at that time, and he kind of made it look fun. So, yeah. Yeah.
They're big pivotal things, and business should be fun and easy. It shouldn't be a struggle or a chore, in my opinion, but because then you're not really working, you're just doing something you love.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's much what this app is for you, I assume, even though it's hard and it's a thing, but it's like a baby as well.
Well, I think when you work in tech, like it's always a game, like is it going to work or is it going to break?
Yep.
And so you get like a bit of glory every time it actually ends up working. So it's never the same thing every day, and there's always a challenge. And then something breaks and you freak out, and then you've got to fix it and scramble. And don't get me started on security. You create an app, by the way, just so you know when you get there, and then you think you're pretty much done when you launch it, and then you realise if you do get an influx of users, you've got to... I mean, we did do our NZ cert, which is like a security checklist and all that fun stuff, but you can never have enough security. Like 2FA, people have tried to hack us like 6 times now.
Already?
Uh-huh.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's important, right? If they can get people's addresses and
Yeah.
names and date of births or anything like
And
that.
also, I think it's quite obvious to people now that we're going to be like a
Big
pretty
app.
big source of data.
Yeah.
Um,
And if they can get in early.
yeah, or just play. Also, I think because I posted on the tech forum, like have you seen that page?
No.
You should join it. It's quite good. The NZ tech startup ecosystem, 20,000 people in there.
Okay.
I think, it was endearing of me to put it in there first because I was putting it in with sharks and they were going to tear me apart, but they loved it. But also, for sure, there were some people. I mean, I got a bunch of messages and everything. I actually found an inbox today that my website, my bonnet.co.nz website has a form on the bottom. And because I built it 6 years ago, it was going to an old email address, which I never realised. And I was like searching through my emails today and I found 400 inquiries through that form since we launched. And I was going back to the start and it was like, devs and like all of this stuff. Yeah. That like if I was a dev and just saw a startup, I'd have a little play as well. Not like hacking play, but like just to see how
Yeah,
well
sure.
well the security is done.
Yeah. So you're obviously pretty good at handling anxiety then, because that's a lot of people would open up a box, go 400 emails. and break
Oh,
down.
no, that was like a cool thing. I had an email from Uber in there.
Did you?
I've had like every cool company pretty much reach out in New Zealand. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's been pretty cool for sure.
Excellent. It'll be one of those pinch me moments, like holy
Yeah,
moly.
like constantly.
Like, wow, how cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, how cool.
You might not want to talk about it, but obviously you've spent all this money developing the apps and you're going to want to see some return from it. So are the dealers paying you to upload the vehicles or where?
Yeah, so the goal is to always keep it free for the New Zealand driving public. It's a tool for them, a very useful one. For dealerships, so when a driver downloads the app, they assign it to a service centre or dealership around them. The dealership needs to have a service centre to be eligible to be on there. And the dealership side of things is not just like that, but it's kind of like an iceberg, like the app's the top. Like we've built a full software solution to manage their servicing bookings, a plugin to handle their incoming bookings through their website. If someone books on the website, it updates the app. There's this whole mountain of software that I've built to go with it. The way that we are kind of selling it to the dealerships is it's a client retention tool for them.
Yeah, just drives them straight
someone
back
buys a
into
car. Yeah, someone buys a car and they get the keys and they walk out the dealership floor. Like, how are they going to be able to stay in touch with them? They're now in their back pocket. You download the app, make sure that it's the profile set up, pass the phone back. There you go.
Yeah.
Also, when the car falls out of warranty, how they're going to make sure that they keep getting the service with that service centre.
Yeah, and there's just a constant reminder.
And then there's offers and parts and events. It's a full, it's basically keeping them in the back pocket.
I'm feeling like I'm missing out now. I need to download it. Just give me 5 minutes.
Well, with the app, how it is, like you can tell you've got the basis there for the dealership, but obviously because it doesn't have the dealers there, you can't access that. But it'll
so we're working as fast as we can. As I just said, like we just found like a couple of hundred emails in my inbox. Like that's pretty much half of them are just service centres and dealers. Like we already have 270 service centres and dealers on the app.
Wow.
We've just got so many more to go.
Oh, it's unlimited.
Yeah.
It can be one of New Zealand's biggest motorsport apps.
Yeah.
Not motorsport, motor apps.
Yeah.
Easily.
Yeah, definitely.
I put 3 cars on it just saying, oh, that was interesting. I didn't realise that was coming up. you know, those little things, because you're not walking around your cars looking at all the dates all the time because you are busy people and it's very easy to go, oh, actually it's coming up. Let me book it in.
I think the one that catches a lot of people out too, because it caught Robin out, was, he brought a brand new vehicle and 3 years rolled over because you haven't had to warrant or register it, and then he's like, oh, shoot, I don't have a warrant of fitness, and it's been like lapsed for months.
Yeah. And then, there's a whole other side of it you can dive into in terms of just keeping the road safe as well. Like, if you don't know your warrant's due when your car's a bit older, what if, there's something actually about to happen that could be critical to someone else that's coming towards you? You just need to walk down the street and look at people's tyres and go, how are you driving your family around with that? Exactly.
So that needs to be checked out.
Yeah.
And you see more and more of that happening as well. Like I even had a courtesy vehicle the other day and I saw it, the front tyres were completely bald and they needed your app to kind of realise that it needed, and I'm pretty sure the warrant of fitness was out too. So it was.
And what did you have, a courtesy car from a service agent and they let it? That's crazy.
It was from a
panel beater.
Yeah, so
He's having issues keeping his car on the road.
no, I drove too fast. Sometimes technology is not so great in cars. Yeah, no, it's really cool and clever. So what's some of the biggest learnings you've had?
Building that.
Just in anything in general in life.
Just, it's so cliche. Just don't stop. Just don't give up. Keep going.
Mm-hmm.
But in saying that, do your research and make sure that you don't have competitors in your space and your pricing's right and your margin's right and a lot of things like that. I feel like there's a lot of people that do keep going, things that should probably be shut down. So within reason.
Yeah, 100%. Not every business should be a business, right? Or every idea should be a business.
Yeah, just do your research and do your, run the numbers. That's a huge one. For me, we didn't really have a competitor, so that was great.
Is there anything else like it in the world that you've come across?
There's a couple of comments that I've seen, and I mean, long and short of it, no, there isn't. There's in the UK, there's an app that reminds you of your WOF region warrant, and it's manual entry, so it doesn't actually pull data. And then there's apparently in New South Wales, there's an app, but I haven't been able to download it because I'm not in New South Wales. But there's 2 comments on the post or something saying that New South Wales is something similar. But there's a lot more comments saying bring this to Australia. Insurance is mandatory. So we're actually working on our Australian version at the moment as fast as we can, because now we're in market. We've got, sharks potentially.
Speed,
I'm
right?
sure
Someone will copy and paste you.
Yeah, there was a guy that emailed me just before I left saying, I'm investing in something similar. I'm like, I don't know. But yeah, I think now that we're actually in market, it would be difficult but tempting for someone to kind of try and replicate what we're doing. The lucky thing for them, I suppose, is that we've done the hard yards. But we're just going to be working as fast as we can to take this to Australia and then the States after that too. So we're working to get integrations with the dealership software that they use through Central. I said this wrong today. Central America. No, North America. Damn it. So. Yeah,
you could see America might be quite a hard market because every state has a different
That's
driver's
the same
license
thing with
and
Australia,
rego.
though, yeah. Honestly, it'll be fine. We'll figure it out.
Yeah. And have you self-funded the whole thing to date? You haven't had to go to any investing?
100% bootstrapped. Yeah. Which is very exciting.
So you own 100% of it?
100%.
Wow.
Yeah. Yep.
What a time to be alive.
I know. It's
like
cool.
the being on the shark suit. I'm 100% owner of this business.
Yeah. I definitely tried to semi-raise money a while back, and then it was just, a lot of work. And I did all of the stuff that I needed to, but at the end of the day, we're here now. I just kept going. I didn't get investment, and then we're here.
Yeah,
I didn't really have any serious chats. I think I talked to a couple of VCs, but with the momentum that we've got now, I think that we might be in more of a position to potentially crowd.
You will be. Yeah, 100%.
And I think
Just
also with the potential downturn of things, that it might be better to do that instead of doing the VC route. But yeah, we'll be looking to do something shortly.
Yep.
It'd be worth talking to the angel investor groups and different things and just seeing what's involved and what the share dilutions look at and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
If you're going to blow into somewhere like Aussie and America, you might need quite a lot of horsepower as far as funds behind you to scale it at speed, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
I have no idea, to be honest, but I'm sure I do. Yeah.
Because how many in your team currently on Bonnet?
So it's more. So I've got my digital agency, which we build websites and solutions for other companies. Yeah. So I'm just stealing everyone's time basically. But luckily, I own that company too. Yeah. But I've got a operations manager, Maddie. He is a legend. He's got so much attention to detail that, I wouldn't be here this soon without him for sure. And then I've got a sales girl, and I've got a development team of 4, and then I have a designer.
Across both businesses?
Yeah. So I've got 9 staff. I think I missed some people. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. It's a good sized business. And when did you go self-employed and start the agency?
I was 24, I think. I'm 31.
Yeah. Oh, it's been going a while. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's 7 years.
Excellent.
7 years haven't crashed.
No, you're over it, yeah.
And a baby.
Yeah, and a baby.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And you initially started that in Auckland?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then when did you move down to Tauranga?
3 years ago.
Okay, cool. What brought you here, the waves?
A man.
A man.
Yeah.
Yes,
I have
exactly.
been learning to surf though.
I did see that. I stalked you on Instagram.
I assume by your love of cars, he's a manly man.
He owns a quarry, a sand quarry.
Well, he's a manly man.
He is a manly man. Yeah,
so-
but he doesn't love cars. He drives a bloody Triton. I'm like, upgrade your car. He's like, there's nothing wrong with it. I'm like,
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
he's a manly man. He owns a quarry.
a sand quarry.
Yeah. Oh, so cool.
A lot of demand for sand, so that's good.
There as always, I got my driveway done by a quarry owner.
Oh, yeah?
I got all the hokey pokey from it. It's 70 tons full.
Yeah.
It was awesome. Boring off story. I could see Jason's face. He's just.
I just glaze over sometimes.
Why are you talking about this?
Yeah, where's the relevance? Yeah.
None.
So tell us about your agency as well, because obviously you probably don't need any more work. Obviously
No.
coming in now, so you might not want to promote that too
we've
much.
had
But
so many app quotes, honestly. I will definitely keep it going. I think. I mean, that's and just hire someone to replace me because I'm very much in both sides, but Bonnet is stealing the limelight at the moment, as I'm sure you can imagine. But I build custom design websites. We actually just did Hawkins Construction, which is is Downer, and we build like software solutions for other companies. So full build out React.js, like hard things.
Yeah.
We build that too, and obviously we built Bonnet. So primarily like 85% like custom WordPress builds. So we do really cool design stuff. We don't do any templates or anything like that. And then we do like full service digital agency after that in terms of support. And then also hard stuff. Have you guys heard of Viva La Dirt League?
No.
Oh, sad. They
Not in the know.
how do I explain it? I'm sure. Basically, they're YouTubers. They've got 5 million followers. They're Kiwis, some like old Shorten Street stars and stuff, banded together, and they did skits. I don't know. This is going to be bad. Skits about like games, video games, but it's kind of them acting in real life, and then they put a whole lot of like effects and stuff over it. Anyway, they're massive. They've got like 5 million followers. So we've just built them a site, and we're building them a new streaming site too, like a full Netflix solution basically.
yeah.
So we build hard things.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So you obviously got a real passion for that. So you've got the skill to build that stuff from scratch
No,
yourself as
I
well,
don't.
or you've got a team?
Yeah, a team. So I'm the architect.
Yeah.
I used to be a designer, and then I hired a way better designer when I was pregnant. I was like, well, tools down. I don't need to do this anymore.
Yeah.
And also it took me so long, and my design was so archaic. But yeah, completely just like architect kind of thing. Like I can think quite quickly what would work in terms of user function and design. I think that's probably the main thing I'm good at. And then I can obviously manage and delegate the team.
When you started out, did you start with an employee straight away, or were you sort of
No.
everything? And
I was like traveling the world just working from my laptop basically. I lived in the States in LA for like 3 years. Yeah. And I went down to Mexico for border runs every time my ESTA would nearly run out.
Oh yeah.
And I got caught and detained. That was fun. I haven't been back.
Safer out on the side of the world. Yeah.
Yeah.
So how long were you running before you employed your first person, like as an
quite a
agency here
while.
in NZ?
Yeah, no, actually, the majority, to be honest. Like, as I said before, the baby was a real thing that kind of gave me the kick up the bum. So my first employee was my operations manager, and that was honestly like like less than a year ago. Wait, that's technically not true. He's the first person on PAYE, like legal. I've been using contractors for nearly the whole time.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, so you've always
So
had
like
enough work to drive in and get subcontracted out to people.
What's that?
So you could always drive enough work in, you just subcontracted.
Yeah, actually, no, that's not right. So I have had like my my website developer, like my WordPress website developer, as well as my custom like JS developer. Those guys have been like full time for like the last 6 years, as well as No, just them. And then only since I had the baby, which is 2 years ago, have I hired like a bookkeeper and a designer and a sales and an operations manager.
Okay.
I don't know. It's probably very confusing answer.
You'd love the operations manager, right?
Well, that's what he is. He's just like he when shit hits the fan, he is the fixer.
Well,
and he prevents shit from hitting the fan too.
And this is what so many business owners really struggle with, is actually handing over control to someone else. But as soon as you do that, now you've got a business.
Yeah.
Because it can run without you.
He's the guy that yells out to you on the street being like, stop running. Like, take it slow.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm running. And he's just like looking at every dangerous thing that's going to hit us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Very valuable man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Saved us a lot of money.
I bet.
Yeah.
I bet.
Yeah, it's important to find the answer in knowing when to hire those people as well, and actually not going, no, I need to do it all myself.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But I mean, it's obviously financial based.
Yeah.
But then as soon as you I've always thought about it this way. If you've got enough money to pay them for 3 months, because that's legal, right? Then just do it. And then the majority of the time, they're going to be there for a long time.
Yeah, they've got 3 months to prove themselves.
Like, I don't feel like you need to be like, I need to have 100 and whatever K in the bank to, it's 3 months. If it doesn't work legally, it's all good to let them go.
Yeah. Yep.
But I haven't yet let anyone go.
Yeah.
And that's
It's just a clever way to think about it as well, rather than going, it's the whole year. Yeah. It's very clever.
Yeah, it's the only way to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, run them, make sure that they're paying for their own wages.
Yeah.
And hopefully bringing you something else on top, and that you can work together.
It's very, very, very hard to find good staff.
Oh, yeah.
At the moment, if not ever.
Yeah.
Even more so, I reckon, in the last couple of years.
Yeah.
Very everybody that I am in communication with my role, they're all having a very difficult time. Doesn't matter which role it is, just finding quality staff, and then staff that are committed and staying too, and not just finding the cherry on top and just jumping there. It's very, very challenging for staff. Yeah. For teams.
The days of children coming through and going into a job and learning a trade like we've all sort of done, fallen into something, is gone, because they all think they can start their own business at 20.
Yeah.
They don't want to go and work somewhere else and be told what they want to do. They want to be a digital nomad, but that's not reality, is it?
Yeah.
It takes a lot of freaking hard work to get anything off the ground. Yeah.
So how long was it when you kind of had been working for your uncle and you realised, obviously you're 24, but when did you start think, actually, I kind of want to do this myself?
So I was working for my uncle for, I don't know, let's say 3-4 years or something. And I didn't know anyone in Auckland. We lived in Howick, which is very far away from where anything fun happens. So I think I turned 18 and I was like, I'm going to get a bar job, but I'm not going to tell my uncle. So I used to work till 5, go to my bar job, start at 8 and finish at 4 a.m, drive home for 2 hours sleep, start
Rinse and repeat.
normal job. And I did that for 6 months, which I think is a pretty good run before I broke my wrist. And then so after that, I quit working for him because I had too much fun. And so I had a fun bit in the middle there. And then I started working back for him. And then I think I was just at a dealer visit one day. And the GM of Fiat Chrysler, Clyde Campbell at the time, was just like, do you want a job? I was like, are you trying to poach me? And he's like, yep. I was like, okay. So do I get a car? He's like, yep. I was like, cool. Because I love cars, and he was going to give me a Wrangler. So I mean,
yeah. At a young age too, that's pretty kick-ass.
Yeah, 22, I think. I had a big-ish break there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's excellent. So was Wrangler as payment or Wrangler as contra? Or just
no, you
could use
car,
it?
Company car, yeah.
Oh, company car, sorry.
Still would have had an income.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool there too. They actually have a chef in there. You get lunch every day. Yeah. So I'd eat my whole day's worth of food in the food court and then just live day by day at the time.
So they have a similar setup to farmers do here with the little bar and cafe in the centre.
No, full chef. So morning tea, lunch. Not so Fiat Chrysler is not it's a wholesaler to all the dealers.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's Jeep head office and stuff like that. Yeah, they just had a full-time chef there every day.
Wow.
With a buffet that they would make. for everyone that worked there.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool.
Well, I used to go to Mercedes-Benz head office quite a lot because I sold Freightliner and Mercedes-Benz trucks, and they had nothing like that.
Yeah.
So, yeah. You're with the right brand by the sounds.
Actually, funnily enough, being a Mercedes, at my end of my Fiat Chrysler reign, they tried to poach me. And then I felt so bad at the time for like making a situation in the office. Who was in charge? I can't remember. There's been a few bosses at Fiat Chrysler, but I think it was Greek maybe. The Mercedes guys were trying to poach me, and then it got back, and I got a sit down with the GM and stuff. They're like, "Are you applying for a job at Mercedes?" And I was like, "Well, I'm just like looking at it." They're like, "Well, how much are you offering? How much are they offering you?" And I lied by 20k, and then they were like, "Well, we'll match it. We'll give you 5k more." And at the time, I'd already made my decision that I was going to stay at Fiat Chrysler because I could do so much more creative things with the Jeep Chrysler brand.
Yeah, cool.
Whereas Mercedes is all out of Germany, and then they just like gave me a pay rise, and that was it.
Yeah, and look, that's a lesson to a lot of people too, because a lot of people want to go in for a pay rise, and sometimes you do need to be armed. Because some people will come in with a strong conversation like, "Give me this or I'll leave," and sometimes you do get told to leave.
Yeah.
Like I've been told once, like, actually, no, we don't want to pay you that. So I did go to the other job, you know. So having that conversation.
I think that I would respect them being ballsy, you know. I think that everyone should go like 20% higher, if not 50, and then just land somewhere in the middle.
50%.
I mean, no, don't be nice these days.
You're on 100k, I want 150.
I mean, you have to be good at what you do, but if you're ballsy enough, you should be.
It's know your worth, and hopefully by that point you've proven it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's amazing. So obviously we've got a pretty good cover of your life very quickly, actually.
Yeah.
We're firing through this podcast.
Yes.
But,
So is there anything you want to talk about that we haven't touched upon?
I mean, there's a few things that I can't talk about just as of yet, but I think just mainly the whole I find it very hard to kind of believe that we're in 2023 and like the whole vehicle administration system is so fragmented.
Yep.
I mean, that's just in short the problem that we're trying to solve. And it's going to be very exciting in the next short period of time /12 months where we can get Bonnet. Like we've got a lot of things that we really want to do. As long as the right pieces of the puzzle come to the party. So I think that we'll get there for sure. But it's going to be very exciting times for sure.
Yeah, you're definitely going to be someone to follow because if you've had this much growth in 3 weeks,
I honestly,
it's plans you've got.
Yeah, it's resonated with so many people that I can't really even believe it. It's been overwhelming. I mean, there's obviously the 300 comments that you get like on a TV1 post about, I've got a windscreen, I can remember that for myself, yet the thousands of downloads that actually come through, it's just kind of proof is in the pudding.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's just testament to how useful the tool is for drivers, and I hope to make it just a lot more useful too.
Yeah, well, it's just like you were saying earlier on, it's just the start and it's only going to develop more and get better. Yeah, it's seriously a cool story.
Yeah.
I really love it. So I like the fact that you've kind of had this idea, haven't wavered from the idea, and you've known that it's a good one in your core, and you've just been like, actually, no, I really believe in this, so I'm going to do it, because I've often done things within the creative realm and people haven't seen my vision with regards to what I'm doing, and it happens actually quite a lot because they haven't done anything, seen anything like it, but I'm not copying them. So I'm doing something unique and they don't understand it. But then once I do it and I don't listen to them and I do it and they're like, that is really, really clever. And it's the same situation as well. When you know you're right, it's obviously on a minor scale to what you've created, and doesn't take 6 years.
You just have to have tunnel vision sometimes.
Yeah, I think it's important.
Yeah, if you know that you're good at something or whatnot, Yeah. It can be hard, obviously. It's not easy.
Yeah. Because you would have had friends and family saying, why are you wasting your time on that? Like,
no one ever told
you.
I actually have read that a lot because I read a lot of books. Like, everyone will tell you that you can't do it. I've had no one tell me that.
You've got some awesome friends and family then.
Yeah. I think I'm just good at what I do. I think, yeah. I mean, it wasn't really affecting them. It wasn't, but yeah, I've actually, been lucky in that sense.
Yeah.
That's how it should be, though. You shouldn't be getting resistance from the people that's close to you. They should be like propping you up on a pedestal, just in general. And if you've got friends that's trying to be Achilles heel, you need new friends.
Yeah.
It's my opinion.
I don't actually really have a lot of friends, to be honest.
That's the good thing part. Neither do I.
I'm not
A lot of
big on
acquaintances, not many friends.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. I've got an awesome partner, cool baby. That's what I need. And a surfboard.
Yeah.
Excellent. So what's some things you do to kind of obviously hop out in the surf for you?
Yeah. Well, I make it sound like I surf all the time. I don't. I try and get out there at least like once a week. In summer, I was trying to go out every day, but I still suck.
Yeah.
Like, I suck so bad. But when you just get up for that like one time or whatever it is, it's so worth it as well. I find that when I do go out on the water, like I cannot think about anything else. Like I'll go to a yoga class and I'm thinking about 10 different things that the app can do or anything, and I just cannot shut my brain down ever, even when I sleep. I'm lucky that I can actually go to sleep, but I find it very, very difficult. Surfing, like you're constantly thinking about surfing. You don't have any other room for anything.
Gasping for air, you got a duck under a wave.
There's a lot of things going on, yeah.
Sounds like jiu-jitsu.
And it's good.
I think that's why so many men love the extreme sports type stuff, right? Because the same can be said for motocross, mountain
Because they're all
biking.
crazy.
Car
Well,
racing.
you just clear your head.
Yeah.
Like, if you're riding through the redwoods and you're carving through trees and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
You're just
And
thinking
there's
about
a small amount of adrenaline the whole time too.
Yeah.
Like I'm actually really scared of sharks, and ironically, I surf in Shark Alley.
Yeah.
Oh God,
Surely it's not named after that for that reason.
When I found out that I was moving there, I was like, oh my God, I'm so excited to move down, into the mountain. I'm gonna get over my fear of surfing. Sharks. It's gonna be amazing. And I looked onto Google Maps and I was like, babe, why is it called Shark Alley? And then I Googled that apparently the sharks chase the stingrays into the bay. So then that's always in the back of my mind when I'm surfing. But ironically, you can't be scared of sharks when you're surfing because you don't have the time to be scared of sharks.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I feel like anyway. But
Yeah, you shouldn't see them before they get you. So.
Yeah.
yeah, and there's been like a shark like eat a fish like right in front of me when I'm like on the board. I'm like, cool.
Oh yeah. So you have had a couple of sightings, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never seen a shark when I've been in the water.
Haven't you?
No, never.
The thing that's
Definitely there.
the thing's quite bad. That's especially as you get down Papamara and stuff, because all the people with their contikis, a lot of them throw the fish heads and stuff back in, and they come right into the shallows. So
I've seen them so many times in the waves down like Pap. That's where I used to live.
Yeah, I've never ever seen them when I've been in the water. I never actually think about it.
That's good.
pays on too.
Yeah, it's not something I would tend to think about. But it's a good thing.
And you can see how many like when we used to wakeboard and
Yeah, I've seen stingrays.
we used to always wakeboard in Hunters Creek, and you'd just be skimming over the top of the hundreds of them. They're just sitting there in the shallows, so you can see why they're all coming in to eat them. It's like there's another one, another one, another one, another one.
I feel like, just while we're on the topic of apps, I've thought about this for a while. Why hasn't someone come up with the idea that they just put like a drone up like on a summer's day and just identify like the hot spots in the water or whatnot, and you pay a subscription to know if the shark's around you or not? I mean, it's simple kind of...
You're giving somebody an idea straight away.
I don't have any time, so...
But you'd like to use it?
I have a lot of ideas, and I'd be like, Steph, just focus on one thing.
Yeah.
Or using satellite as well, and
There's so
AI
many
to
things
pick
you
it
can
up.
do. And you just like have like your Elon ray of like drones or whatnot, just like hovering there. No one has to actually be on them. They know the coordinates, and you just scan it, and if you detect anything large or whatever in a piece of water, and then sell subscriptions to that. So, and then you go, I don't know.
Maybe you should slide into Elon's DMs and say, "Hey, Elon, mate, can we use Starlink to check out these sharks out here, so I can go for a surf in the morning?"
Yeah.
Well, one of the world's richest men is very clever. How he invested was he got satellites, send them up into the sky to look down at the levels of the oil drums, and he'd predict his investing in regards to the level of the oil drums with regards to investing. I thought it was so clever using technology, and he was an engineer.
Really?
Yeah, it was super clever. I don't know his name. I read it the other day.
Drums, I don't know enough about
Was
them.
it
So
the world's
at the
richest
oil
man,
drums,
Bill Gates, or no?
No,
Is that
They said
wrong?
one of the worlds.
one of, not the
the-
world's,
okay.
yeah. So it's the oil drums. I didn't know, but because I've never looked at them before, but they've got a sphere, and then basically the level goes up and below, and you obviously use the mass equation depending on the shadow on the top of the oil drum to see how low it was or how high it was, and then it uses a vesting with regards to it. They didn't go into depth, but they said that he sent satellites up there. I thought it was really clever how you can use technology to make your decisions if you're going to do something. So say, for example, using a satellite in the sky to detect if there's sharks there, and then if you're going to go surf there or not. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very clever.
Which I'm pretty sure on Aussie they have done that with like choppers and drones and stuff. They check it over.
I was just going to say, I think that the manpower or the tech of a satellite would be like over budget, but I think that you could. I think you
Just for the shark tracker,
But it'd be highly accurate.
Oh, that's amazing. That's
But no,
amazing.
I mean, also obviously shark nets, but. So,
Yeah, I don't know if they
so
really work
80s.
either. But yeah. Oh, that's cool. So surfing, that's about it, is it? That's your
and
outlet?
then I guess just try and gym every day. I also do keto, which is interesting. So like if I'm doing anything, I mean any kind of meetings that require quite a lot of like brain power, I do keto for like a couple of days before them. I'm always trying to do a keto. I'm also always not on keto, but I get a huge amount of brain fog when I have sugar or anything like carby, and keto is just makes me think so clear. So yeah, that's a
Keto
secret weakness
fasting.
too, I'd say.
Fasting's amazing for it too.
I don't eat in the mornings, and I do that purely for the fact is I can't concentrate on the morning shift. So if I'm there and I eat breakfast beforehand, and I've done it for years now, if I eat breakfast beforehand, I'm starving before my shift's done, and I cannot concentrate. And it's not a long enough period of time for me to be hungry. Like I shouldn't be hungry, but I can't concentrate as my body needs it. Whereas if I don't, I'm very comfortable to not eat until 1, 2, and I'm sharp. Yeah, it's very
crazy,
interesting.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah, it takes a lot of energy to digest food. A lot of my mates got Oura rings. They measure like your heart rates and your sleep and all that sort of stuff.
Oh yeah.
And mate Matthew, he realised that if he has red meat after 5:30 at night, that he can't sleep. Like it ruins his sleep. So if he's going out for dinner and you meet him at 5:30, let's go for a steak. If it's after 6:30, it's going to be like fish or chicken, because he's just seen how much through the Oura ring, how much it actually affects his sleep and stuff. So yeah, if you like your tech and data, maybe an Oura ring.
I haven't heard of that. I mean, I've like sounds familiar, but what is it? Is it just like a?
It's just like a ring, like a
Is it a heat thing or is it like
no,
a
it's got a little
pulse
sensor
thing
on
and
it, yeah, and it measures your heart rate and different stuff. But Google it; they're quite cool.
Yeah, that sounds cool.
Yeah. You'll learn more about your diet and how it is actually
Oh
affecting you.
yeah, is that work? It's not like a mood ring, right? It's like not.
No, runs off an app.
Do you know the mood rings?
I do.
Yeah.
What was purple?
Glorified
I'm purple.
mood ring.
I'm blue. Oh wow, we're definitely showing our age, aren't we?
Yeah. We're definitely going back to the 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, is there any advice? One thing that we always like to ask is there any advice you'd give your younger self?
Younger self. I mean, no. I think that I've learnt everything because I've needed to or made mistakes. I wouldn't really change that. I think the fact that I travelled through a lot of my 20s has made me really grateful to be here and not, once you have a child, kind of everything kind of changes and you can't do everything as freely. I think everything for me, I'm quite lucky that everything's happened like in the right time, at the right pace. And yeah, I think I think the only thing would just be more open to people and just listen more. I think that I talk over people a bit.
Yeah.
But no, honestly, I think about sometimes there's so many good things that have happened to me in my life that I feel like something bad must be on the way, but I'm quite lucky considering I had like no father or anything growing up, and my mum was, quite poor in a sense, that I'm very lucky that I've taken the perfect route of all 20.
Yeah.
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 Somehow.
Yeah, no, it's excellent. It's actually...
Just kind of like backed myself the whole way.
Yeah.
I think that's very
So
important.
be backing yourself.
I've just always backed myself. Even if I don't know what I'm doing, I'll just pretend that I do.
Yeah.
I've 100% faked it till I've made it.
Well, it's
sure.
that self-belief, though. It is important, and I think it's an important aspect to have in all aspects. Doesn't matter what you're trying to achieve. Yeah. Because if you don't have it, how are you going to achieve it if you don't believe it yourself?
Absolutely, and people can sense that from a mile away.
Yeah.
For sure, yeah.
Yeah, big time.
So is there any sort of staff or anything that you need for the app? Like if someone's listening and they...
Yeah, I need a full stack developer and about 3 of you. Pronto. I need full stack developers, API. Yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent.
So I don't know who's listening and I don't know any of those people.
But people personally, or else I'd be like, I've got the person for you. But if somebody's listening, it'd be great to get them on, and I'm sure you'll have some communication.
Yeah, I think I was talking to someone. Is there like a co-working space down here or something?
There's a few.
I was talking to someone down there, and I was like, I really need to find, this is quite a while ago, a full stack developer. There was like a tech startup in Tauranga that just took all of the full stack developers in the region, like a accounting software.
Lawview.
Is it Lawview?
Be Lawview, I'd say.
Yeah, and they found a way to do something. Anyway.
Yeah, Lawview's got like 100 staff now, I think. Like
yeah,
it's
they
been really
just
successful.
soaked all the developers up in the region, even from Auckland, offering them like 30% more than, standard. So I'm hoping with our stees and a little bit of clout, because we've got a good name, that we're going to get some good ones, but I just need them, and they're very, very, very hard to find. So yeah.
I think I actually met one last week, a guy that was sort of in between projects, and he's quite eccentric, but he's probably very good if you put him in front of a computer to do what you need.
Eccentric? Elaborate?
Well, just, he's introverted. He wasn't a extroverted sort of personality like myself.
Yeah.
But he seemed like he said
there's left brain, and then there's right brain. There's creatives, and then there's mathematicians. I need mathematician.
I'll keep an ear to the ground, and I'll ask a couple of people.
Thank you.
Yeah, we know a few people in IT in different spaces, so those guys probably have an idea of where to find them. Yeah. And is there so you're pretty confident with advice and everything, and where you're heading, and
I mean, I'm just kind of taking it day by day at the moment. But I know where I want to be, and I won't stop till I get there, unless someone pays me a lot of money.
Disclaimer.
You're looking at a 50x
Everything's
valuation.
a sale now.
That's so awesome. Well, I'd just like to thank you very much for your time. I know you've got a lot going on at the moment, but it's just really cool to sit down and have these conversations with people in the local community doing some really great things. So thank you very much for your time.
Cool. Thanks for reaching out. This has been great.
And so awesome to actually get you so obviously you're quite far in the journey, but so early in the people hearing of your journey. So might sit down with you in another 12 months and hear about the expansion and globally.
It's crazy. Like I'm constantly pinching myself because it just doesn't feel real. Which is a feeling that not a lot of people get to feel. So I'm trying to make the most of it for sure.
And how's the best way for everyone to find your app? Obviously Google and Apple.
It's called Bonnet, Bonnet. On the app stores. It's free. And if you want to stay updated, just follow us on socials.
So Bonnet as well, Instagram,
Bonnet,
Facebook.
I think it's Bonnet_app. I should probably know that. Or Steph Kennard on Instagram as well. I'm pretty much, we'll share each other's stuff because it's also me. Yeah.
Oh, well, you're a star. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, we've got some big announcements coming up too, which is exciting.
And that's why they should be following the apps, the Insta.
Yeah.
Stay tuned. Follow the journey. I think it's going to be one to follow. So
hopefully,
Oh, definitely.
Yep.
Cool, guys. Thank you
so
so
much.
much.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it. Lovely.